Hey everyone, Captain Foley here with my good friend and partner in crime, Samuel Cockings.
Hello, guys, and today we've got One Hit Wonders, obviously, and we're going to be looking at, well, a ship from Enterprise, a ship from Delphi Expanse. It's the Xindi Aquatic cruiser. So let's get straight into it.
This ship is at least 1,800 meters long. Just for comparison, the TOS Connie is 289 meters long, and the Sovereign, or Enterprise E, is 657 meters, with the largest Dominion battleship seen on screen being 1,500. So this is a pretty big ship.
And we think of the Sovereign as being a big, long ship. That is, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for the era, too.
Mm.
It's a 22nd century cruiser built by the Xindi Aquatic race. And when viewed from the top, it kind of looks like it has a squid shape in its design. It is equipped with particle beam weapons and is the most heavily armed and equipped ship with the most advanced technology of any of the 5 Xindi races. The ship travels via subspace vortexes, and you don't want to mess with the Aquatics because I think they can kick your butt.
So, because it's the Aquatics, it features a hydrodynamic ship design, so it can fly through space and through water. Very cool. It has a large hangar bay in the primary section of the hull, which is easily big enough to carry the NX-01 and other Xindi starships, so potentially this is a carrier of some sort. However, due to the extra mass of all the extra water in the ship, because they are the aquatic life form, the ship is actually very unmaneuverable and slow because they're just pure mass of water, which I never considered, so that's pretty interesting. And they compensated with their slow speeds with just having lots and lots of big guns.
This has at least one small room nicknamed the Airquarium, where oxygen-breathing humanoids could come aboard and communicate with the aquatic crew via a small round window.
So we didn't get to see this ship much, but we did get to see it in the really quite awesome final battle against the Xindi superweapon, once it had been taken over by the Reptilians, of course. And it was really awesome to this ship, and it showed that even in the Xindi arc, the Xindi at the end would be our friends, and we get this awesome battle with everyone working together to stop, planet destruction superweapons. And they're part of that, so that's pretty cool.
Friends.
Yeah.
It was disabled in this battle, however, by a spatial anomaly generated by a nearby sphere, which I would call cheating on the half of the sphere wielders, but
That's just not fair. Come on, guys. It's a bigger, stronger ship, and it takes a full-on gravitational distortion of changing realms to stop it. So, for all we know...
all's fair in love and war, they say, so.
Well, yeah, but is it still fair when it's got time-travelling temporal people with weapon? But right, for all we know, this aquatic cruiser, because we never get to see it in full-on one-to-one battle, it might have been able to do the entire battle by itself. We never see. That's why I'm saying cheating. Very unfair. So after this battle, we got to see another aquatic cruiser take the Enterprise back to Earth, which is really very useful because the Enterprise was pretty damaged by the end of the series. I mean, there was holes everywhere, and it's a 50 light-year journey from the Expanse to Earth. They probably wouldn't have even made it. So the Aquatics took him home and allowed Series 4 to happen because I don't think it would have got back otherwise.
Yeah, I just want to point out that he says series, which is British, very British. It's season. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, not series, because a new series implies a new show altogether.
So we need subtitles for English. The exterior of this ship was actually designed by concept artist John Eaves, who, as you all know, designed the Enterprise Z, refitted Enterprise B, and many, many other ships through the Star Trek universe. So that's pretty cool.
Executive producer Brandon Braga liked the design of the ship, stating, "It's not every day that we can go on a ship filled with water. Only in science fiction could you have your captain standing in what we call the Airquarium." Which I love that name. The Airquarium is awesome.
So another cool fact is that this massive window in the aquarium, as with all good Trek, it was a reused prop. Just like we saw in Wrath of Khan, those awesome blinky lights. This window was actually part of a Alien Bazaar in Series 3, and then became part of the Romulans special drone control area on Romulus in Series 4. So reuse everything.
So you mean Season 3 and Season 4, right?
I guess I do.
Anyway, on to the next point. Interior views involving the aquatics section of the cruiser were rendered in CGI, even to the extent that the water containing the aquatics themselves was digitally created.
And as part of this, these scenes that we saw, they actually did create the full and detailed control room set, because it's always good to do that. But because the distinctly murkiness of the water the aquatics lived in, we really couldn't see that much of it, which is a shame. I mean, you've got to wonder, these are aquatic, dolphin-y, whatever life forms. How do they control these these panels and what other special things they do. And I'd love to have seen how. That would have been such a Star Trek moment to see this truly alien life doing something so mundane as beep, 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 buttons. That'd have been cool, but oh well.
Yeah, it would have been neat to kind of have a new take on things. That would have been cool to see. So, in Star Trek Online, this ship is called the Xindi Aquatic Narcine Dreadnought Carrier.
That sounds cool. I like that. I'd go with that.
And has smaller craft which deploy from it that are similar in design to the Xindi Aquatic scout ship. Mm-hmm. These little attack craft are called the Mubali frigates, cool. Which are very handy in combat situations, I might add. So I wonder how much this already very huge ship is scaled up for Star Trek Online to make it a dreadnought carrier.
Oh, God.
Like, what is it? Like 5 times the length of, like, 1,800 times 5? Seriously.
So still in stow, Star Trek Online, the vessel is equipped with, as they always do, a sort of unique console. In this case, it's a, console universal cascade resonance catalyst, which sends out ripples of energy which resonate with the shields and hull frequencies of all the nearby ships, which causes kinetic damage, which is hull damage. And as mentioned above, the ship also has 2 wings of
Mobuli?
Fighters armed with phased biomatter beams, quantum torpedoes, and quantum mine launchers. That's cool.
Wow.
Quantum torpedoes as well. They've advanced a bit. I like it.
Yeah, pretty powerful by the sounds of it. All right, guys, so let's move into the discussion part of the show. I was never a fan of the whole Xindi War thing on Enterprise, personally. And I admit I sort of turned off mentally during a lot of it. I don't remember a lot of those episodes, to be honest. But seeing the ship again and doing the research for this episode, I must admit that it's a really cool-looking ship. And the size is just massive, even by Next Generation standards. So,
but I think it still works. I don't know. I feel like that's their thing. So, unlike the Bird of Prey and the size difference, I think this actually works.
Plus the fact that it's full of water. That's one of the coolest things about any Star Trek ship ever, I think.
That's such a simple thing.
I know.
So basically,
I'm easily amused.
You want a swimming pool ship. You just want a ship as a swimming pool and just like hot tub
with
ship.
An air aquarium. Wonder if they have an air pool where they like jump into midair. I don't know. Anyway. Also, the whole Star Trek Online playability is really neat. Honestly, I can honestly say I would have liked to see more of this design in the show. But I also could have done without all the Xindi things because I don't know. I didn't think the Xindi were very Star Trek-y, but that's just me.
But they were like 5 different species, but all Xindi. It's so no. Okay, well, I guess this is one of the moments we differ because I really enjoyed the Xindi arc. I thought it was great and powerful. Yes, of course, I had some shortcomings, but as did all the different series. I mean, TNG series, series 1, whatever. Quite a weak series, but I think this one was actually quite a good one. I think it proved a successful arc with some really fantastic moments and episodes, especially. As a whole, I mean, I actually really like all the different Xindi spaceship designs. I think this is one of my top 3 that sort of stand out in my head, which is funny because it was on in 2 episodes and only for a few minutes. A true one-hit wonder almost. But I think it's a really interesting design and quite Trek. It's different and yet similar and yet, I don't know, it feels Trek to me. And obviously, like you said, the water idea, never been done apart from the swim pools. It's really cool, and I'd never considered it until we got to this episode that would cause a serious change in the mass of the ship and therefore the speed and movability, and that's such a clever reason. And I love that this is the race we saw the least, but it's the most powerful, and that's really cool. It's an elegant and yet opposing ship, and even if I was in the Defiant from DS9 and I was looking at this monster of a ship, I would be a bit worried. Even though I'm superior and quantum torpedoes, I'd be thinking, oh, that's not good. So quick, cloak and get out of there. So I like it. It's a cool design for me.
Well, yeah, the Defiant's such a small ship too, even compared to the NX. And this thing can swallow the NX. Nothing too much that I don't like, except for the fact that where did the Xindi go during the TOS and Next Generation era? They are never mentioned again by anyone ever. And I know Enterprise came after and it was written after, and I get sick of that excuse because it's supposed to be in canon.
It's not an excuse, it's TV.
If they're not mentioned in TOS or Next Generation, then don't include them in a prequel series. Sorry. Anyway, so they never get mentioned again until Star Trek Online, of course, but I mean, you never see the Gorns or Tholians in the Next Generation either, but at least they're referred to a few times. They're at least mentioned, and that's what I like. It's just the whole revisionist future history of Enterprise that kind of bugs me. Sorry, guys that worked on Enterprise. Sorry, Doug Drexler. Still love you. But anyways, it's still a very entertaining show, and I do enjoy watching it.
Well, there isn't much I don't like about this ship. I think it's a cool design. And if I'm going to be honest, the one big thing is that they've got this really cool vortex technology, and it's clearly much faster than warp, and it doesn't need a warp field, doesn't need all this other jazz. Why didn't we say, hi guys, can we possibly have some designs? I mean, that would have revolutionized our warp program. I mean, 50 light years in, what, a day or two maybe? I mean, that would have been incredible. Drop the ball, Archer. Come on. I know. You just saved their... Well, I guess they saved our race. I don't know. You should have asked. Okay, so honestly, you say that, but I'm not actually that fast that Xindi didn't appear in later on, or even referred to, because obviously Enterprise was made after everything else, and they had to invent a new species, and it sort of tries to explain it in Star Trek Online as to why. They said specifically there was a self-imposed exile. I mean, imagine there's a race of Foleys out there, and they had all this stuff about temporal agents and whatever, making you try and commit genocide on another race. And given all the internal conflicts between the 5 races, you can imagine what this would do to them after. I think the exile thing makes sense. And the Deathwick Expanse, yes, it would dissipate, but it's so far away and it's so isolated, and no one ever went in there before. Maybe they just said, let's just leave them alone. They stayed in there. So I can understand why.
It makes sense. I agree with you.
Yeah,
but
I win.
There's no way that it would not be mentioned, at least. It was a Xindi war, for fuck's sake.
Well, there wasn't a Xindi war. There was a Xindi massacre, and then we went and fought them.
Exactly. They had like a 9/11 incident. You don't think that would be talked about or memorialized?
Okay, but how many times is the 4 Years' War mentioned? The first war with the Klingons and the Federation in TNG, DS9? Not at all. How many times does Cisco say, Gowron, remember the 4 Years' War? We shouldn't have done that.
Okay, that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, that war is at least mentioned. There was a war with the Klingons.
But it's not called the 4 Years' War. Okay, I guess it is mentioned. That's a full-on war. Xindi was a year, and obviously Earth didn't know anything that was happening. So as far as they know, Enterprise was sent off, and
It was one of the first conflicts that we had. It would be mentioned, you would think. Anyway, that's...
No, hold on. Another thing. I mean, there was the Cardassian War, the Federation Cardassian War in the mid-24th century, and that wasn't spoken of except until, a little bit with Miles O'Brien, and then it wasn't mentioned anywhere after that, or anywhere in TNG. These things, I mean, they happen, but sometimes you don't mention it. And since Enterprise is, 110 years before TOS, that's hundreds and hundreds of years before anywhere that we see so much of.
Okay, I agree with that. I see your point. But then again, me and my FASA history, my original history with the Daedalus class ships instead of the NX. And I know this kind of gets melded together, that it's possible, but anyway, we're just going to continue on.
Well, you said
I could argue this point. This would make a great Trekyards episode, just arguing history of timelines and stuff, but let's move on. All right, guys, so that's it. It's time for Versus now, and as you know, with the one-hit wonders, instead of doing the next ship that we're going to do, we're just going to pick another ship from another series of Star Trek and pit it against the ship we just did. So, I have the Aquatic Cruiser. Samuel, what are you going to be picking?
Well, my gut says I wanted to pick a Connie because it's meant to be so much stronger than any Xindi, and the Xindi are much stronger than the NX-01, so I thought, well, that might be interesting. But then I thought, well, might be, I don't know. So I thought, let's just stick to something a bit more normal. Let's stick with Enterprise era. I'm going to use the Klingon D5 battlecruiser, so the Enterprise equivalent of the D7. And this is, of course, also designed by John Eaves. That's pretty cool. This is the biggest and meanest Klingon ship, so who wants to go first?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so this is the Klingon battle cruiser. This is the apex of their fleet. This is their big ship with plasma torpedoes, and I don't know if they have, but photon torpedoes and big Klingon weaponry. Yeah. And you're Xindi. You're in the Expanse. You have to deal with Klingons. This is the thing we fight. This is Klingon technology. So I'd warp in, and I'd just fire spreader photons. Would hit you in the bow, whatever. I'd fire the disruptors on the bottom. I'd fire the disruptors on the side. I'd fire phasers. I'd have a fleet of the ships. Okay, I can't stop cheating, but I would keep shooting you. I would shoot one bit of your hull because I'd want to get through your shields, I don't want to get through your hull, because if I can cause a hull breach, that water is going. And suddenly, that's a problem. Klingons, baby. Just pummel you with weapons.
All right, so...
I got in the Klingon spirit there, didn't I?
Yes, you're very energetic. I'm sure every time you tell that story, it's going to get more elaborate. Just like Klingon stories.
Mm.
Anyway, so I am a much bigger ship than you. I'm just going to fire my more advanced weapons at you because they are more advanced. We've already discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
I have to drop one shield, let's say, and then I'm going to beam over, a couple cubic tons of water, drown your crew. Or perhaps, since you're so small, I'm going to just swallow you up with my hangar bay door.
Oh.
Maybe flood the hangar bay with water, then open the hangar bay door again, let you freeze into an ice cube, and eject you out of my ship, and then, use you in my drink. Because you're a frozen block of ice. I don't know.
That was harsh, Stuart. I'm sticking with weapons, and you went all out on the... Okay,
Although you mentioned opening up my hull, which I think would instantly freeze everything inside the ship.
Yeah, but then again, you'd think the Xindi Aquatics would very carefully think about
They'd
that.
have like force fields and stuff in place,
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, true.
Well,
I don't know, and I don't know.
I gotta say, we know these ships. We know my Klingon D5s are not maneuverable. They are the absolute not maneuverable ship. Neither is yours, but I'm sure maybe my turn radius is better. But I'm sure you'd be able to swallow me up. And I think once I'm in your hull, even just flooding it with some acid or some other sort of organic thing. Yeah.
No air aquarium for you. You're gonna drown.
Nice. I honestly don't think the Klingons are really thinking that far ahead to make their ships, super waterproof with, the breathing goggles and all that stuff. I think. But you know what? It was a good day to die, and I will self-destruct in your ship, and then we both go. We both go, Stuart. Stover awaits. Yeah.
Kapla. Okay, well.
I think that's a draw, but I think that says it's good. Yeah.
Even if you self-destructed in my hangar bay, I think I'd still have enough ship left to actually survive. I'd be damaged, have a lot of...
come on. It's the middle of your ship. That's a matter, antimatter explosion. This is a Klingon battle cruiser.
It's the front of my ship. I'm 5 times longer than you. You take out the first 2/3 and we're fine.
When have you seen a ship? Come on, the Enterprise A, after a small battle with the Reliant, is pretty much crippled and can't do much, in the next fight. I don't think you'll survive half your ship destroyed. You're not the Borg. Come on.
If it's an antimatter explosion, I'm pretty sure I'm being screwed, so I'm just messing with you.
Okay, good. Klingons, kapla, yeah. Anyway, so I think that's it for these Xindi Aquatic Cruiser and Versus. Well done, Stuart. Creative ideas. And, Stuart, do you want to send us out here?
Yeah, so as usual, guys, same old. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out our Facebook and Twitter accounts, please. And also check out Trekyards.com for past episodes, because there are a lot of them. And we definitely like showing off our work, because I think we're doing a pretty good job. We are getting better each time. Mm-hmm. And hope you guys are enjoying the show, as always.
And keep letting us know what ships you want to see in the comments or on Facebook. We take them all into consideration. Some of the ships we've already done have been fan suggestions, and we're just going to do more. So let us know, and we'll do them, because it's fun. But we always say that. Absolutely. So, yeah.
All right, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you for tuning into Trekyards One Hit Wonders, and we will see you next time. Captain Foley out.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.